Atonement for me. The death of an inspiration.
Hey Magical Misfits, it's Kaidain Ivy and welcome back to Atonement for Me. So I really hate having to do these episodes, but having not had a podcast for very long and having to cover this subject more than once is painful and such a huge part of my life, but such a huge part of many other people's lives at the moment, what with the chaos that we're all experiencing and the loss that a lot of people I know are experiencing right now. And that is with the passing of Jennifer Johnson, who, if you're in the beauty community at Sephora, you'd know her for being a brand rep. If you're in the con community, you knew her for her special effects and her zombies and her absolute love, passion, joy for anything horror. If you were with my crazy special effects friends, you knew her as the Queen of Gore. We were Team Gucci Gore. But a couple years ago, Jen pulled me aside and we had been friends in passing at work because we both brand rep together and we shared the same passion, the same quirky sense of humor, the same energy when we worked together. So naturally, we got along really well. But she pulled me aside and said that she was receiving treatment for breast cancer and that she was kicking ass and she was doing awesome. And that was Jen. Jen kicked every obstacle's ass that was in her way. I don't know anybody who was more positive or determined or just do it kind of person. And never was she negative or complained or defeatist. She would always speak so highly of the care she was receiving at the hospital, the nurses, the doctors, her parents, her best friend Sharon, everybody who was supporting her and caring for her and seeing her down this crazy journey that is a life with cancer. A double mastectomy and several rounds of chemo later, and Jen is still kicking it and planning for things that she wanted in the future. She always had ideas for photo shoots and was up for projects with trauma and filming and teaching. She had so much love and light and joy, and her gift was she was just able to give it to people just by being there, by listening, by being so genuine, not a mean bone in her body at all. No matter how much pain or how tired, Jen wasn't going to let people experience that with her. People were going to experience the joy that she saw in the world, and that was what she was going to share with people. She would blog about her journey with such passion and enthusiasm and optimism. How could you not cheer for her? How could you not want everything amazing for this holy, pure, and genuine person? If ever I had issues at work or in my personal life, the first thing she would say is, "How can I help?" And even if you didn't ask for help, you'd get messages from her. "I looked into this," or "What about this? Have you thought about this?" Things that you wouldn't think of on your own, but Jen just wanted the best for everybody around her. Whether it was a client, somebody in the street, a photographer she'd never worked with, models she'd never worked with, co-workers or friends, even all the animals. Jen loved animals. She was the person who had several different dog treats in her pocket in case she ran into dogs. She didn't have them of her own, but just in case. My dog Vader called her Auntie Jen because he would always have all of his toys ready for her. And when she came over to my house to do effects and makeup and things, he would be right beside her, doing everything with her and sharing all of his things with her. Because it didn't matter who you are. Person, animal, plant. Jen was gonna give you everything that she could in that moment. All of herself. Her fearless, brave self. And it doesn't seem real that she's gone. All of us have photos and videos and voice clips of her. And that energy, it just, how is that gone? She saw everything as an adventure, as a journey, as a story. And I can even imagine her going off into wherever she is now with a smile on her face and excitement because it's something that she hadn't done before. And let's go. But in a time where we see so much unkindness and coldness and cruelty, to lose such a warmth and light. It's worse than a tragedy. Because she was loved by so many people. Whether you got to know her very well or not. And she was just such an inspiration to me in the way that she was so brave and so fearless and so genuine and so genuinely her. Nothing was going to sway her from her path. And she was going to have such an amazing time along the way. And I wanted to read a part of her blog that she used to write when she had the time to put her thoughts together. And it was called Charging Adversity at Full Speed. And her last entry was December 16th. This is why this matters. I know you're annoyed if you're not mandated to wearing one. One is being foisted upon you, and that makes no help at all, especially with all the COVID-19. But what about the immunocompromised people? Last Monday, I was in for chemo. My nurse said, "Your O2 seems a little low." Huh, I said. "Surely this can be sorted out before I leave the hospital." "No problem," said my nurse. "Wheeze, ha 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 ha," said the universe. Halfway through the drive home, my doctor called. "Hi, Dr. Ryson," sending me back to the hospital into my pretty private room where one assumes tests will be running. PSA, the COVID-19 test is not at all as comfortable or as photogenic as it looks in pictures. I was in the pretty room for about an hour before I got transferred up to the 6th floor. High ridiculous O2 stats. I was definitely not on any side of soundproof curtains, as is my way. One side, I had one patient looking for help, chocolate pudding, and attention from the extremely awesome nursing staff. Hi, Mary Ann and Sam. I also traded nasal prongs that were way too big for my nostrils, that they made me keep in one of my nostrils, which needed to get replaced every 20 minutes. Got no more than 20 minutes of sleep at a go. I started also with a surprise catheter. Surprise! So I wouldn't have to leave the bed. And enough of a double surprise when I thought I pulled it out. I'm awake on day 2 with the amazing Dr. Chasen. Hi, Dr. Chasen. Putting everything right, bringing my O2 from 10, and we finally found out with my lungs. It's lung fungus. It's going to mean pills forever. And if I can do it, you can too. Right? And that's why it matters. It matters because she was brave. And it matters because she didn't see things as cruel obstacles. They were just things that needed to be overcome. And I know every single person who had the pleasure of meeting her at any time will agree that they will carry a piece of her with them wherever they go. And I guess that makes her her own special kind of zombie. And that's just the tea.